Good afternoon, everyone. Before we start, we will gonna introduce ourselves first. I am Regine Superfeta.
Hi, my name is Ana Marie Di Fragas.
I am Jamaica J. Sagan.
We are the group 3 which assigned to report the sample learning plans and learning activities to develop 21st century skills. In this activity, we seek to arrive at a deeper understanding of how Filipino teachers define 21st century skills and how we might design learning experience that can develop and assess these across subject areas. There are two end products of this project. A class presentation that features an overview of the learning plan and a learning plan that integrates 21st century skills with the essential knowledge, skills, and attitudes that the learners is expected to develop by the end of a particular learning unit. To, to identify the unit that the learning plan will be designed around, the student will collaborate with an in-service teacher who is teaching a subject that may or may not be related to the student's specialization. The learning plan should include the resources and materials necessary to implement the learning experience in the teacher partner's context. Before we proceed to the sample work, let's gonna read first the product description or product rubrics. Substantial. The learning plan should integrate at least one 21st century skill category. Learning, literacy, and life, multiple skills may be integrated into the learning plan. Accessible and flexible. The learning plan should promote inclusion and address learner diversity by decreasing barriers to access or showcasing possible alternative and context for use. Technologies, modalities, and formats used should be appropriate for the target learners. Clear learning outcomes. The learning plan should clearly identify and cover the essential knowledge, skills, and attitude needed by the learners. Assessment included. The learning plan should include a way to assess both content knowledge as well as the 21st century skills being integrated into the lesson. Ready to implement. The learning plan should include the materials and resources necessary to implement it. The students may opt to design a learning plan that their teacher partner can implement within the project duration, but the students may also opt to do a live demonstration in class. Documented process. The learning plan should be submitted with a short write-up on the teacher partner, their needs, and their context. The process of working with the in-service teacher to design the learning plan should be documented. Proper privacy guidelines and ethics should be observed while documenting the process.
So now let's proceed to the sample work. So what is sample work? Sample work is a proof of your knowledge and skills requiring an individual to demonstrate competency in a situation parallel to that work under realistic and standardized conditions. So as you can see, there is a sample project about the conflict theory and social inequality. So this is a presentation that includes the research process as well as a learning plan. So it is designed for grade 12 social sciences. The learning plan includes the talk about the teacher partner's context, their learner needs, as well as what the forces. So the forces are the critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, and communication of 21st century skills. Looks like to the teacher partner. And in the context of his subject. So these learning plans are made for 21st century learners, wherein its focus is to let the learners experience problems that are based on real-life situations and to come up with possible solutions that are applicable to real world. It is like a problem-based and research-based learning. It is more of a student-centered learning wherein the learners are more likely independent to do tasks, but of course with the guidance of their teachers. So next is the overall learning journey. So when we say overall learning journey, it refers to a planned learning experience that takes place over time and include various learning aspects and experiences using multiple techniques and platforms. So the teacher also needs to assess the development of her students. And then the detailed learning journey. So this is a journey where a curated collection of learning content, both formal and informal, that can be used to acquire skills for specific role or address a development plan. So when you start adopting the learning journey modality, you can track the progress of learners versus the desired outcome. So as you can see in the table, there is pre, during, and post. So in the first is the project launch class. And then the second is the during, where you can see the work plan mapping in class observations in class, interviews, and in the third is the media making homework, lecture class, group discussion, and prototype check. And then the fourth is gallery walk, teaching demo, presentation, and reflection. So, it should clearly articulate the required steps to achieve a stated goal by setting demonstrable, objective, and measurable deliverables that can be transformed into concrete actions. So, mura na siyang process. Process ni siya so that the development of the student will makita jud sa maestra. And then next is the project launch. So the project launch is done to introduce a real-world problem or situation that students can explore and try to solve. So in project launch, it is where the learners were introduced to a real-world problem, and they were trying to do research in order to have an authentic solutions to the problem that is based on a real-world scenario. So in this case, the students will be able to experience and explore real-life problems that can help them in applying to the future and to build up the learners into a lifelong learners. So next is the entry event practice 10 minutes. So first, students will be presented with the 12th 21st century skills without looking at outside reference. They will be asked to list down indicators that these skills are present. So next is, this activity may be done during a face-to-face session through a gallery walk. So gallery walk is a classroom-based active learning strategy where students are encouraged to build on their knowledge about a topic or content to promote higher order thinking, interaction, and cooperative learning. So you may post the skills around the room and the students will walk around the room using sticky notes to list down their indicators. And third is, this activity may also be done asynchronously. You may use Padlets or Jamboards to simulate the gallery walk. So you let your students to have a Padlet. So Padlet gives an opportunity to the students to learn from each other. Like gathering ideas and sharing ideas not only improves their perception, but with also enable them to look at a particular idea from various perspectives. So the fourth is you may spend some time during the activity to cluster similar indicators together. So the students may also cluster as they go along. And then, fifth is the inventory produced should be documented either by the teacher or the students so that it may serve as a reference for future activities. So the teacher should need an documentation or the student. So, more like lecture ni siya para maka-learn or makakuha og information ng mga students about the different skills which are the 12 skills in the 21st century skills. And then, second is pair, share, and or inquire and discuss. 10 minutes. So, students will do a pair share using the following questions to guide their initial reflection. And then, next is, which of these indicators do I agree with? Which of these indicators do I disagree with? How do I define this 21st century skill? Looking back on my pre-college life, how did my teachers teach me these skills? If not in class, how did I pick up these skills? So, establishing a safe space is important for this activity as students may not be willing to share personal experiences. You must assure the students that whatever they share will be kept confidential and are requested to further the discussion. So, lecture, 20 to 30 minutes in class. So, as a student, you need to listen to the overview of the project, its specifications, and rubrics. So, kinahanglan jud na makabalo ang estudyante sa rubrics so that they will going to reach the goal. And then, students learn about the target learning outcomes, the driving questions, and the authentic task. You may option to briefly discuss the teacher's observation as a way to refine the research process and seek into a responsible and ethical research practices. So next is the work plan mapping. So practice collaborate 15 minutes. So as a practice activity, the students map out their process for making scrambled eggs on separate sticky notes or meta cards and try to put their processes together. So in this activity, this is based on the Draw Task activity by Tom Wojcik. Second is working individually. At first, the students map out their work plan for accomplishing the project. Once they have finished mapping out their work plan, they sit with their project group to put together their work plan and adding or subtracting step as they see fit. So next is the skill spotting. Practice 30 to 45 minutes in class. It implements the respect and boundaries lesson from Digital Tayo in class. You may also select other lessons in the Digital Tayo modules. So after the activity, takes a moment to practice metacognition by answering the following questions. So, there na mo come up ang reflection. So, what teaching strategies were used in the learning experience? What 21st century skills did the learning experience aim to develop? And then, do you think the strategies used were effective? Why or why not? What changes would you make to the learning experience to make it more effective? So overall, when implementing the respect and boundaries lesson, you may also seek into a discussion on norms and boundaries they can observe when conducting their field research with their teacher partners and their learners. So, diba, sa research nato na atay advisor na mugay sa ato ang research na in-anin yung buhaton sila ang mo-check sa atong manuscript if it is correct or not. And then if not, they will help us to develop our critical thinking na you need to expand your answer inunana bitaw tas we need to have a reference so that our research is kanang dili siya huyang nana bitaw, and that's all.
Classroom observation. The student will conduct an observation of their teacher and partner class to understand more deeply their needs and context. Observation may be done during classroom time or during free time. Ano nga ba ang observation? In the action of watching a teacher performance in their classroom or learning environment. And also, classroom observation are quantitative way of recording and measuring teacher behavior and mastery by systematically watching and recording them in action. Interview. The student must be interviewed their teacher partner to understand more deeply their needs and context. This may be and then before or after classroom observation as a way to probe more deeply into the teacher-partner definition and understand of 21st century skill and how these are developed in their subject area. The interview call and overcall. Kailangan nimo kanimo mag-interview para naakay prove nga maunay resulta. And an interview is a instructor conversation where a participant asks question and the other provide an answer. And learning experience challenge. To practice their ability to design learning experiences as well as to assess their understanding of 21st century skill, students can be challenged to design smaller learning and experiences that integrate a 21st century skill in particular learning unit. Example, design a learning experience to integrate leadership in a unit in their specialization. Learning experiences, pwede po na their student examines some challenges faced and student a teacher during their professional teacher practice that include, among others, school placement, resources and learning, discipline and classroom management, supervisor and support, and observation. Media making. The student may practice making instructional materials through the use of different stage of tours. Ano nga ba ang media making? They can organize a discussion related to their subject or class assignment on social media platform. Social media therefore help both teacher and student to be remain connected of campus. So, kailangan dyan na magkwanta og media making para na ay ang teacher and student bisan wala ang teacher, kung mangutan na ang student sa teacher, bisan wala sa school, pwede ra masagot ang iyang tanong pamaagi sa media. So, faculty can create group using social media where useful information can be accessed by all. Students can be also use audio and video tools to create podcasts and presentation reviewing their learning that term. So, lectures. Students can listen to lecture on the different topic in the BL syllabus. Ano nga ba ang lecture? So, kailangan na sa loob ng classroom kay para ay ma-learn ang isa ka estudyante kung unsay mga different topic to help student easily acquire to knowledge of term, basic fact, and simple concept. Lecture are the effective but not more effective than other method in transmitting simple information. The teacher may opt to this with a live lecture and recording on bring in guest expert to share their knowledge and expertise with the class. Excuse me. Dalon sa isa ka kuan teacher ang iyang unsay knowledge itudlo niya sa kung unsay mga knowledge na hibawan niya itudlo niya sa kuan sa mga estudyante para ang estudyante maka-learn and this research. Before allowing students to accomplish this research, you may implement the following lesson from Digital Tayo to ensure that know how to avoid misinformation and disinformation in their research. Students search and correct information and resources to build their knowledge on a topic or particularly question relevant to topic being tackled. They may also do this as well to find resources and strategies that might support the design or their learning plan. Student may be done individually or collaboratively, and inventory digital or paper can be output for the day's researching. Example, report and representation, case student, podcast, blog and blogs, press releasing, website and social media. And the last is group discussion. Students share their reaction, insight, and thought about the recite learning activity in class, lecture, group work, and homework. Through different discussion format, pair sharing, fishbowl, and discussion. So, group discussions. So, as a group discussion referred to a communicative situation they're allowed to each participant to share their view and opinion with other participants. It is the systematic exchange of information, view, and opinion about a topic, problem, issue, or situation among the members of a group who share some common objective. So, kailangan dyan na ay group discussion, like kanang magrupo mo para kung unsay mga opinion ninyo i-share ninyo sa iyong kagrupo para kung pangutanon mo naara mo mahatag na kung unsay knowledge ninyo na knowledge ninyo sa gitakol sa maestra.
So now let's proceed to the prototype. So within 30 to 45 minutes in class, students can able to share their prototypes with each other to give and receive feedback. So this may be done through pair shares, presentation, or a gallery walk activities. In this matter, so as a teacher, you may set aside time to students to ask follow-up questions or clarifications on the feedback they receive. And students document, process, and execute the feedback received by making iterations of their prototypes. Students can also encourage to seek feedback on their prototypes from their teacher partner. So, the last set of activities, serve as the project culmination. These activities allow students to share their processes and product. This is also the opportunity to facilitate a summative assessment of the intended learning outcomes and encourage student reflection as they look back on their experience in solving real world problems. So now let's proceed to the gallery walk. In 15 minutes in class or homework, students take the time to browse each other's outputs and provide constructive feedback. The teacher may set aside time to students to ask follow-up questions or clarifications on the feedback they receive. So now, let's proceed to the teaching demonstration. So within 1 hour, 1 hour period, so the student could apply now their learning plan that they designed during their demonstration. And after that, so in class presentation, since the teacher implemented now the learning plan, then the students must attend to observe. So this observation session must be documented, ethical, legal research practice, and must keep in mind. And now for the last stage or the final stage, which is the final reflection. Within 15 to 20 minutes, students can share insight on how they able to make their learning plan and what could be the process in making. And that's all. Thank you.